This is Carrie Johnson with the Iowa Department of Management, and this is segment 5 of a 7-part webinar series of videos to provide some guidance to county auditors and their staff as they work to submit the 2024 valuations to the Department of Management's website. Section 5 here will really talk about the various different types of reports that are available from the valuation system, some of their usage, and how you might obtain those. So to run reports, on the left-hand navigation, you will see an option called Valuation Reports, and it will pull up for you the Reports menu. And what I would point out to you is that there's some reports that are available to anyone and everyone via the public side of the website. There's reports that are available to only county auditors and Department of Management, as are more administrative roles within the system. So you'll see the reports menu, and there's a variety of different canned reports that you can obtain. Reports themselves are available as a PDF. That's easy to print and kind of view in that way, or a CSV file that you can import into Excel. When you click on to generate a report, keep in mind that you're going to get a green bar to let you know that it's being generated, and an update that it's successfully been generated. And you click on download to actually download it to your system, whether it be a PDF or a CSV file. One report you're going to want to make sure to look at is your gas and electric reconciliation report. And the reason why you do that is you run this report and you compare it to what was given to you by the Department of Revenue, and just sort of verify that those values are correct in total, to what they gave you. There may be situations where you move value from one tax district to another that contains centrally assessed or gas and electric value. If that's the case, you do need to make sure that you communicate that move of value both to the company that it affects and to Department of Revenue. And there's a link to Form 2 in your instructions that'll help you provide and communicate that information. You also want to take a look at the tax district summary report. This just lists each and every tax district, the little identifiers for that particular tax district, such as property type, etc., and the total value, the net value without gas and electric, is listed as well. Estimated TIF area revenue report. This is a report that's often important to your TIF authorities within your county. They're going to want to know for each and every TIF area the projected revenue to service the debts that they have within that urban rural area. And so this is a report that you can run. It's also available on the public website for your TIF authorities to look at, and it shows a calculation for each and every increment district. It will show the taxable increment value, the estimated net consolidated rate for TIF revenue, and then it'll calculate then the amount of dollars that would be generated for TIF revenue in that particular increment district. Key change report, there's one for taxing districts as well as for TIF areas. If you run the report, if you don't make any changes to your tax districts, and you run the report, you'll find that no records are found. If you do run the report and there are changes, it will just give you a summary of those changes you made. Same with TIF areas. Taxable valuation by levy authority. This is a very important report that provides for each and every one of your levy authorities the value that will be populated into their budget forms that they will then use to calculate a tax rate. And so, very important report. Again, this is a report that lists 6 different columns, both value with and without gas and electric. It lists the value for computing tax rates, which includes gas and electric. It lists your applicable increment value, if that's the case. And then the total value adding together A and B is in C. This is the value that's really just used to uh, for application of your debt service rates and your special school rates that get to tax against regular value and against incremental value. So you do want to kind of walk through and be sure that each levy authority is correct for all 6 columns. And this is the 100% value by levy authority. You want to make sure, again, that the values are correct both before and after exemptions. Levy authority valuations by class, 100% and taxable, are often reports that folks want to take a look at. This provides each and every class of property for that levy authority, both the 100% assessed and the taxable value. And I do think it's prudent to look at values sort of on an ongoing basis. Compare those total valuations by class to last year's valuations by class. Are there large changes? Can you explain those large changes? Was there a new, large industrial facility that came on the tax rolls this year? A new housing development that's now fully taxable, et cetera, et cetera. You just kind of want to see trends. If you see something make a large swing and you can't explain it, you might want to dig into that a little bit deeper. Maybe there was some sort of change that you're not recognizing, or an exemption that property received that you weren't really aware of, that sort of thing. And if it has those sorts of implications, you can also just visit with your assessor. They might be able to help you understand some of the valuation change trends that could be happening within the county. A very important report to look at, and one that I think is one of the most helpful, is a tax district recap report. There is a PDF version, and this looks very much like how I showed you before, the data you submit to Department of Management. At the top, it has information about that particular tax district, all its various flags, and then it lists for that tax district the 100% value and taxable value by class. One other real helpful thing of the tax district recap report is at the bottom, it does show you the assigned levy authorities for that particular tax district. So you can make sure if you have an issue with a particular tax district, you can run the report, pull up that tax district recap, and make sure that the assigned levy authorities are correct. Now, in this particular example, obviously, again, we're at the beginning of the tax year process. Budgets have not been determined and tax rates have not been set yet. So we would anticipate that these tax rates would be zero, other than brucellosis may have been determined by that time. The tax district recap report can also be obtained via a CSV file that you can download and then dump into Excel to do whatever you might want to do with it. Take a closer look at the data, that sort of thing. It can be very helpful. One thing that I know folks oftentimes like to do is they want to take a look at those tax rates and just verify again that those tax rates match what they show in their local system. At this point, I would go ahead and end this discussion on reports. But if you have any questions, please contact me via phone or email. Thank you.